What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be reviewing The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, episode 5. This is our penultimate episode, so right before the last one, and I got some things to say about it. So without further ado, if you like this video, please make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel, and let's go and get into this. Okay, let's talk about this episode of The Walking Dead. The first thing I want to talk about is the setting. So we're set in the forest, and we're doing this both in the past and the future. The past, our core characters in that part of the setting is Gabriel and Jadis. And I know you're probably saying, what, Gabriel? Yes, Gabriel's in this episode, which it was a good. I was happy to see him back. Gabriel actually is one of my characters that I really like from the later seasons of The Walking Dead. And I just like how they start him off as being a person who's super scared to being kind of really a force to be reckoned with amongst the group. But then we also in the present we take place, we have we in the present we take place in the forest, and we are dealing with Rick and Michonne as well as Jadis, and basically just kind of the dynamic between those three. Now I'm going to be flipping in and out of both the past and the present, just to kind of talk about a couple of different things. But I want to talk about my characters individually and just kind of like, of course, what's important as far as from this episode. The first one I want to start with is going to be Jadis, right? This is a big Jadis heavy episode, and it's Jadis heavy episode because, spoiler alert, this is her last episode, which this is a character I'm actually sad to see go. I've always liked Jadis in the actual show. As far as I like the dynamic. I like how she plays that particular character, and I like the dynamic between her and Rick. So to see this character be going after this is bittersweet, but it's The Walking Dead, But in this episode, you see just from Jadis' point of view, she's as far as in present time, she finds Rick and Michonne. Rick and Michonne are basically in a whole honeymoon stage of basically their I guess their life, because now they're basically back in line. You see that they are on the same page. They're moving like they need to move together, and they align. But she meets them as they're basically waking up, just kind of from the nights before, and she basically lets them know that since they decided to run, she got to go and kill them. Because if she doesn't kill him, they're liable to jeopardize everything that she's trying to protect as far as with the CRM, and even trying to protect as far as with Alexandria and everything like that, right? So as she tries to kill them, which mind you, they're like tied up and everything. They basically able to kind of get the upper hand on her and just like the little skirmish. And she gets wounded. Now, when she gets wounded, she flees, and I'm gonna touch on what she does next after I kind of take you a little bit back, and kind of talk about what goes on with Rick and Michonne. Rick and Michonne starts off this episode just traveling. I'm assuming straight towards Alexandria, but they're like passing. They stop at a rest stop. At the rest stop, you see they have they're just kind of getting they're talking a little bit. They mentioned the fact that Michonne never finds like one of those nameplates that you see like at gas stations or something like that. I've never found one with her name on it, which I feel it because I never found one with my name on it, which is Reginald, which I feel is like a common R name, but maybe I don't know. Maybe that's just me, right? But she comments on that. And you see that her and Rick are just basically they starting to vibe, they're back to Rick and Michonne, right? They leave that place and they end up back. They end up in the forest where they meet some survivors. They help the survivors from zombies, and those survivors immediately try to rob them. Which you're dealing with Rick and Michonne, so Rick and Michonne again gets the upper hand. But instead of getting the upper hand and killing these survivors, they get the upper hand and they basically tell these survivors, like, Go be better people. We need like you go be better people. Go do this. And was a real funny what's name, which I'll let you see in the thing. But Michonne gives them food. Michonne and Rick gives them like food that they found, and when the people do all this stuff, Michonne takes back the food. And Rick is like, really? Like, yeah, give me that food back. It gotta be some punishment to being like being terrible out here in this world. But she basically, as they do this, they realize like we did that with no hesitation, right? We went to try to save those people with no hesitation. These are just who we are at our core, and it felt good to try to do it, right? It's like cool. Well, then they go to the cabin, which is the one that Jadis ends up meeting them, and they have a good time. And then, of course, the next day, this is where we're picking back up as far as with the whole Jadis thing, right? So after they get the upper hand on Jadis, Jada leaves to go to the forest, where she then runs into, of course, our group of people who tried to rob Rick and Michonne earlier. She basically lets them know that she can got a place, that she can take them to that place, and they can have a much better life. But she's pursuing some people, and she really needs help, right? So she gets these people on her side. Rick and Michonne, of course, follow suit, and they basically chase Jadis to a warehouse where where they think they have an upper hand, but then the other people come out showing that they are basically, of course, the people in control. Now, before I go forward in the current present, let's go back to the past and let's just kind of talk about her interaction with Gabriel. Now, like I said, throughout this episode, it's flash forwarding back and forth between her interaction with Gabriel, and you're seeing that her and Gabriel are meeting up year after year, getting closer to present time, right? So first one is right. It's roughly, I guess, like it's right before we pick up with everything. It's right before we pick up after the time skip in The Walking Dead, right? So roughly 5 years after the bridge. And that's when they reconcile. The next one, it looks like we meet them as they're going through the whole whisper issue, and the walls are down at Alexandria, and they have and Gabriel even kind of asked Jadis for help, and she's like, I came, I got sympathies for you, but of course, and he's like, and you can see that they have a little bit of tension, but they quickly get over it because they trying to come back and they trying to understand each other. And throughout this, she's using Gabriel almost as a confidant, not telling them what's going on with the CRM, but telling him just kind of how she feels, right? And that she understands that she has to do darker things in order to ensure a better future. And as the years are going by, you see that she's getting more okay with this being her reality. Just kind of how she told Rick, if you go back, I'm gonna have to basically kill you and a lot of people including people that I care about, because at that point, Jadis, the mission is everything, right? And and you seeing these interactions to the last interaction where you see where her and Gabriel are basically kind of talking. You see that kind of where Gabriel's like, you could come here, you can come back. You don't have to be that person anymore, or whatever. And you can see that it's kind of like a turning point for her, and she basically kind of pushed Gabriel to the ground. And she pulls a gun on him, right? And it's like, oh no, what's gonna happen in here, right? Even though we seen The Walking Dead and we know where Gabriel is now. At least last time we know where Gabriel is, right? But we see that like this interaction, and it takes us back, of course, to where we are where we're in the present. We don't get to see at that time what happens in the past. So I'm gonna come back when we get to that point. But anyway, Jadis has Rick and Michonne dead to rights as far as with the people being there to be able to kind of help her, and she thinks that, of course, that I'm gonna get to kill him and we're gonna get the move on thing. But of course, Walker's coming out of nowhere, and the people who were trying to rob Rick and Michonne, they all end up getting killed. And Rick and Michonne and Jadis ends up in a whole standoff, right? Each has a side, each has a gun or whatever, and they're trying to get at the other. Well, they end up in a standoff and they start to talk to each other, right? Jade is basically letting them know why she like why this is important, why she has to do what she has to do, and then and Rick and Michonne, of course, like you just let us go, but Rick ends up bringing up a compromise. If you let Michonne go or whatever like that, I'll go back to you CRM, no harm, no foul, we'd be good, right? And we'll let Michonne go get you like a med kit in order to kind of help you, and then we'll get you patched up and we'll get you off. Well, Rick. Well, of course, this is a lie. Michonne sees him face, so she goes off like she's about to go try to help. Jadis tell Rick to come out. Rick come out. Jadis has a gun basically on Rick, and she's like, I knew you would end up double crossing me whichever way, but while she's going to go do that, I'm just to basically shoot you. Well, of course, Michonne comes out toting the gun that she got from the guy that tried to rob them earlier, and they have Jadis kind of dead to rights. And Jada's still holding the gun. She's still talking her stuff, and you see the conflict in what Jadis is saying, because what you notice real quick is that Rick does not want to have to kill Jadis. I feel like I don't know if he even though the things that she did to him for him is horrible, it was still saving him. She saved him. She's not a bad person to a core. She's a person who's doing bad things for what she believes, but she's what somebody can be considered redeemable in Rick's eyes, as he tried to redeem her before. But before they knew it, they had the standoff. Of course, walkers come and they attack Jadis, and they end up getting the upper hand. And of course, they end up biting Jadis. Rick and Michonne quickly dispatch the walkers, but by that time the deed is already done. Jadis has been bit, and with that she realizes like, okay, oh man, like I'm dying, but in her state of realizing she's dying, she thinks again back to the last time that she interacted with Gabriel. Now, a couple of key things that I skipped over when I was kind of going over the past. Gabriel tells her about a story about how Rick wanted to marry Michonne, and that Rick basically that Rick wanted to marry Michonne, and that Gabriel ended up finding a ring that he was planning on giving to Rick, but the bridge blew up. So he never got it, and he still holds onto that ring. Well, when Anne's going through her confliction, he gives her the ring as almost a symbol to not forget who you are at your core, and to do better things. Just kind of like how Rick did better things as far as kind of sacrificing himself to try to save basically the people around him, right? So as she's bitten about to die, she thinks of the past, and she thinks of the last time that she's with Gabriel, and she has the gun on him, and instead of shooting Gabriel, she shoots a walker off in the distance. And Gabriel gets up and he's like, you made your choice. Basically that she chose to be a better person, and that she's not a monster that can just kill for the CRM and not basically just kill anybody for the CRM. She made a person to basically be the better person, which in this case they can't they keep using both her names, Jadis and Anne being the better person, right? So when she's bit, back in present time, when she's bit, she basically let them know like the file that she says that she has on them, it's in her room. They can go get that file. They can destroy that file, and then they can leave. They can leave, and CRM be no more the wiser where Alexandria is, and they'll be able to be free. Just promise that you won't destroy the CRM, right? Because the CRM is doing something that's important. It's important for the future, right? Now, when this happens, Michonne steps in and she basically lets her know, no, we are coming for the CRM, but we're coming for the we're coming for CRM, and we're gonna basically run to tell the people who live in the city, what. Well, Ricky's gonna basically get that briefing. We're gonna go back. Ricky's gonna get that briefing. We're gonna the echelon briefing that's basically to tell him the reason why they doing everything they doing. Once they get that echelon briefing, we're gonna basically let the people know, and the people are gonna stop the CRM because the methods that they're doing to basically accomplish their goal is wrong, right? Which, and you can see that Rick and Michonne at this point, kind of, as Michonne saying it, you can see that they are coming to terms with like, man, we going like not just we going back, but this is what we're supposed to do. Just kind of like in the early episode where it's like we help people and we did that without any. We did that naturally. This is what we're supposed to do. We can't just walk away from this issue that's basically plaguing the world, and we know about it. We got to do something about it. So you can see Jadis kind of comes to terms to that, and she gives Rick, because she has it still with her, but she gives Rick the ring that Gabriel gave her, and she tells him that Gabriel found this because he knew that she wanted to marry Michonne, and that you knew you wanted to marry Michonne, and basically, I held on to it, whatever, right? So he gives that to her, and you can see Rick is like, he has a ring to give him, and throughout the episode, you see that I think Rick is trying to, I'm not, woo is not the right word. He's trying, I guess, to show his love for Michonne. So like he finds toothpaste. He finds toothpaste that Michonne mentioned that she wanted way back in some earlier seasons of The Walking Dead. How she said that she never sees one of the nameplates with a name. He finds a necklace that says Michelle. He breaks off the rest of it to where it just has M, and he gives that to her. He's trying to show his appreciation for her. So she gives Rick the ring, and then she finishes off her, like her she finished off just kind of saying what she needs to say, and she kind of reflects back to the time frame where she was with the people that she cared about, which was the people in that little trash town, or even just kind of like people like Gabriel, just the people that she cared about. And then Jadis reflects on her earlier time, and she says that she was happiest, I guess, when she was an artist, back when I guess she was in a little trash heap, making stuff. And you see you see like just like pictures of like the art that I guess Maggie had commissioned from her, that she, like the painting that she drew of Glenn, of her sister Beth, and like Herschel and some other people, and you see that she just kind of reflected on who she actually was, not who she had to be because of this world, which was Anne. And she basically says that she basically implies that in the end, basically Gabriel was right, and Anne was the person that the good part of her was the person that I guess outweighed the bad. And then she tells Rick to do what he promised her that he would do. And she tells him in a way, not in like a spiteful way, but in a way that's like, as a friend, go ahead and finish this for me, right? Which he does. He kills her. But as when he has to shoot her, instead of basically looking at her like coldly, like he turns his head away, as far as not seeing somebody that even though that they weren't, I'll say, quote unquote friends, they had a mutual respect or whatnot, but not seeing somebody that you sort of care about, whatever, you have to kill them, right? Which is kind of reminiscent to how people would die in the earlier season of The Walking Dead, where somebody would get bit, and it's somebody you cared about, and you would have to be the one to put them down. After that, Michonne and Rick leaves, and you see that Rick drops down on one knee. He basically tells Michonne that she basically make this broken world whole for him, and she basically reciprocates that that same thing, and you see that they basically they get engaged before they fly off towards the CRM and return, and basically have to deal with everything that's going on. This is like their last moment before they gotta have to go do that. Now, juxtaposition, we now see Gabriel, which I'm assuming is present time, as he heads towards the spot where he's supposed to meet with Anne or Jadis, and he's there and he's waiting, and to the point where he realizes that she's not coming. So you realize, like, dang, the point where she's basically coming to find Rick is the same time frame that she would have been going to meet Gabriel. And since she's gone, they never got to basically move anywhere forward. You know what I mean? Like they never got to basically have a happy ending together, or just kind of like they never got to basically meet again. Yeah. And you just see that they never end up getting to meet again, which is kind of like a sad ending, but it kind of shows that it's kind of the impact. Now, for just overall, I thought this was a really good episode. I thought this was a really good episode to kind of showcase Jadis's last episode, which is kind of funny because a lot of people don't get this level of edit or intricacy as far as on their last episode of The Walking Dead. But she's been a pinnacle character, I think, just like in a lot of different things. Even though she wasn't part of, let's say, the main crew for quite some time, a lot of the pivotal things that happened, Jadis was a part of it, and actually one of the people that I actually, every time she was on the screen, I actually like really enjoyed kind of watching and seeing her there. So I thought this was really good. I thought it was acted very well. It set our characters on the path I guess they needed to go and to get back to the CRM. And overall, I thought it was a strong 7. Now, it was a couple things in this episode that I was like, I don't know, we could have did differently. For me, it felt slow for it to be the episode right before the finale, right? I understand that we had to basically handle this whole Jadis thing, but at the same time, it was like, I don't know if I would have made. I don't know. I feel like, I guess I guess what it is like, I don't know how we're gonna stop the CRM in one episode. Like, is it gonna be a case like, I don't know. I thought we were basically, I don't know. I thought it was more, but it was a good episode, I would say, to basically finish off the interaction between these two characters, and just kind of, I guess, fix the mind frame of where Rick and Michonne is, to have them where they're aligned, but now they're aligned with their goal to try to help and stop the things that the CRM is doing. So the next one, we're gonna see them return to the CRM, and we're gonna see how that all goes. And of course, I would do a finale review when that does come out. If you like these reviews, if you like this style of review, please leave a comment and let me know, because I'm trying to look to see how I want to kind of move with everything kind of going forward with the ending of this, and if I want to do more content like this. So if you like this, please just, hit a comment, let me know how you're feeling about it. Also subscribe to the channel, and just, of course, tell your friends about it so we out here. Until the next time, I'll see you guys. Deuces.